So we're just continuing with the Murli of 18th of January 1976. So we had covered the first part of the Murli, and we're continuing the second part now. Just 1 second, the computer is loading. Okay. So in the first part, we discussed about Baba's mentioning about the love from the children and the complaint, and how Bapdada is speaking to Didiji and others. And Baba says, what was the special form of the children today? Along with their loving form, they also complained. The Father is an ocean of love, and so what is the speciality of an ocean? To the extent that there are waves, to the same extent there is stillness. It has both specialities at the same time. In the same way, the speciality of those who become equal to the Father is that externally they are embodiments of remembrance, and internally they are embodiments of power. To the extent that they are embodiments of remembrance in the corporeal form, so they are forms of power to the same extent. There should be the balance of the two simultaneously. Do you have such a balance? Whatever day and time it is, you automatically take that form. However, there is spirituality when the balance of both forms are clearly visible at the same time. You're playing your parts, and at the same time, you should also have a stage of being detached observer. By having the stage of a detached observer, you will play your parts accurately. However, you will not become the form of your part, that is, you will not be influenced by the part. You will have willpower. When you are able to adopt the form you want, whenever you want, that is called willpower. When you are able to adopt the form you want, whenever you want, That is called willpower. The form of power should also be merged within the form of love. Simply to merge yourself in love is being physical, into brackets, worldly. Simply to merge yourself in love is being physical, worldly. Spirituality is when you remain an embodiment of power, as well as embodiment of love. This is why the final scene of the powerful form is that of being a conqueror of attachment and an embodiment of remembrance. To the extent that there is great love, so you should be a conqueror of attachment to the same extent. So, what was the final paper you saw? While having love, Baba was the conqueror of attachment, an embodiment of remembrance. This last paper has been remembered as a memorial. That was Baba's practical demonstration. While having corporeal relationships, he had the power to accommodate as well as the power to tolerate. You saw the form of these two powers. On one hand, to merge in the love, and on the other hand, to finish the final remaining karmic accounts with the power to tolerate. You saw the power to accommodate and the power to tolerate in the practical form. Does a father not have love for his children? Even while being an ocean of love, yes, he was completely still. He was completely beyond the consciousness of his body. This was the last stage. Baba demonstrated this physically, practically. Baba demonstrated this practically. It was just around this time at night, in the last paper, he claimed the first number in a practical way. To put something into a practical form is easy, but to merge it, you need willpower. You saw the entire part of how to merge the suffering of karma and also to merge love. This is willpower. This is the willpower that Baba willed to the children at the end. Om Shanti. So let us have a few minutes of reflection and silence, and then we'll continue to discuss a little bit more about the passage. Just let's have a few minutes of silence. Om Shanti. It's a very short part, and Baba is speaking about the same thing in different ways. And I lately really love this statement because in other Murli also we get to hear the point and the wave. So let us hear from you first, and then maybe I will also share some thoughts. Anybody would like to share? Please go ahead.
Shanti, brother, good morning.
Om Shanti Vinod.
Yeah, actually, a very small passage, but filled with so many messages. So many.
Yeah.
Baba shared the definition of spirituality to be, to be the power as well as to be loveful, to be powerful and loveful. That's how he
Yeah.
defined to have the form of being powerful as well as being loveful. And I could extract one more definition of toleration, the tolerance. Sorry.
Mm.
Baba
Mm.
says to think that the karmic accounts are going to get over is the power to tolerate. Till now, I've been having this concept that not to speak out or not to retaliate or not to express something means tolerance. But then
Mm.
today I got a new perspective that while facing something and thinking that a karmic account is getting over with this, be it from people or be it from situations, is a new way. I was understanding the part to tolerance from that way,
Mm.
and the part to accommodate that Baba says. I was thinking from a couple of days that having a part to register and keep it in the mind, you know, because with so much of things going on a daily basis, but not still able to hold that or register or remember is something like that. But I would like to know the perspective of people today, you all, brother. Baba says even at the end about the power to merge. I think that is also what Baba is saying is about power to accommodate. So if you all can elaborate a little more about that.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
So
But
yeah,
overall, a
thank
very
you,
nice.
thank you for that. It's a very, very beautiful. I also noticed a little bit that okay, is this what this power means? So let's hear more from others, and then we'll talk about it also. Yeah. Just anyone else would like to share or comment on this? We'll come back to it in a moment. Uh, yes.
Oh, Shanti, yes.
Yes, Om Shanti.
For me, the ocean, it's like a way of quietening the mind like nothing else. Like you stand at the edge, the waves are rolling in. There's a stillness that seeps into your bones. And again, when Baba gave us the analogy of the ocean, that ocean which has taken everything of the rivers, which has accommodated everything, still is able to give us that calmness, that kind of a feeling. So it has to be so magnanimous that it has got the power to accommodate. So that's when I stand at the edge. But when the waves come, I love to dance with the waves. I love to move with the sea. And then that kind of rhythm which you get, the waves and moving with the sea, it makes the rhythm of my soul a bit free. Sometimes we have to go with the waves. That's what we mean, even by tolerating. Instead of just looking at the waves, and even in the waves, there are so many kinds of waves. There are tsunami as well as tidal waves. but I'm just talking about tidal waves. So sometimes, like the ocean gives you the waves, that as it has accommodated, we have to also tolerate it, because our feelings are just like those waves. We can't stop them from coming, but we can choose which one we can surf. Let the waves, I always say, hit our feet, and then we can sit nicely on the sands over there. I always get a kind of poetic thing whenever Baba speaks about oceans and stars and waves. That's what's the feeling which runs in my mind.
Shanti. Thank you. Yes. Anyone else?
Om Shanti.
Shanti.
Yeah, so Baba, mentioned about the last paper, so that we all know about the last paper and the final scene, and we all have to become conquerors of attachment and also at the same time embodiment of remembrance. So only then we will be able to defeat it'll be able to become victorious, right? That is what we all have to become. So this is one of the important paper, right? So that we all know. So conquering the attachment itself is a great thing. And along with that, being an embodiment of remembrance. So here Brahma Baba demonstrated how that has to be, because most of the time the challenge comes is we are influenced by the part or the situation or the people around us, right? So the dear one and the near ones. So when we conquer that, right? So for that we have to practice. So we get so many situations every day, so we can check whether am I playing a part, being detached from the part. So we know that we are not the part. We know that the part keeps changing, and this is all coming just to make us powerful. But what happens sometimes, we forget. We become influenced by the scene, by the part, and then thereby sometimes uh, we are unable to balance that embodiment of remembrance, and that attachment is sometimes taking over us, right? So it's so for me, the day for me to check that, throughout the day, just to see how much am I watching the scene as a detached observer, and then am I able to balance that remembrance? Because these two are going to make right, is going to give me a lot of willpower, which will eventually make me victorious in the last step when I get there. Yeah. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, lovely. And that's the kind of feeling I also have. But let's hear more. What did you? I mean, it's so small, the passage, but as I think brother said, there's so much in it, and so much for me, like so many new things emerge from this, and so much confirmation also. So quite interesting, yeah. So let's hear from others. There's a comment, I think. Sister
Om
Post.
Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti.
Willpower, something means it is a strong intention or a highly powerful stage. Whether it is to be the same as Begat ki Vairagi, brother. Willpower, in
Interested.
any sense, it relates to the Vairag.
Yeah, yeah.
Or it is different? I'm asking you to.
Yes, willpower is to be what you call unlimited disinterest. I
Yes,
think
yes.
I think in this context is a little bit more than unlimited disinterest. It is similar, though. It is similar. Um, to have the power to be able to see everything at the same time, merge it at the same time. So I would say more of a detached observer, more of a detached observer. It has some similarities though, yeah. Any other thoughts? Any thoughts from the sharing also?
Thank you,
Anyone?
brother.
Yeah, 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 sure. Anyone would like to respond? Yes.
Sati and Sakshi. In other words, in some other Murli, we'll see it.
Yes.
Sati means the being a companion, so where a remembrance comes.
Yeah.
And then Sakshi means this detached observer. So
Observer, yeah.
when we have these two, right? When we remember Baba, then we would know we have to go back. Okay, we don't belong here. That awareness will come. And Sakshi means, you are just watching everything. So you're not influenced by the scene. So you stay beyond. Because when you are in the scene means you are influenced by the corporeal part. So
Yeah.
you're forgetting who you are.
Yeah. Baba said at some point today, he says spirituality is when you remain embodiment of power as well as an embodiment of love. So that quite opens a lot of things, you know. There's a lot of things that open up with that simple sentence. But yeah, let's hear more. There's a couple of comments. Let me read. In the meantime, if there's anything, this is from Sister Girja. Accommodation embraces tolerance to merge suffering of karma and to merge love. Yeah. And then Baba wants stillness, wants to see us as detached observer. Yeah, definitely. We have to be that. That's the topmost practice, yeah. Yes. Any other thoughts?
Brother, when Baba says you have to be the embodiment of power and embodiment of love, it sounded in one sentence. Baba says the balance of love and law. It sounded similar, like
Similar,
then
yes.
the balance between love and law being the Srimad and how things have to be carried out. I still wondered how to express or be the form of power. Does it have to be like the churning of those fine Murli points or the roots? And does it mean that you have to express it out to others? Or, I mean, I still think that we emerge it through our eyes and still not say it out, but the other person feels it. But that's again I can say uh, a situation wherein you are just thinking that it's happening, but is it actually happening? Or maybe something would change. Maybe you might like to clarify that. How would
Yeah,
this power or being lawful emerges out in your
mm,
personal experience?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Will do.
Arif bhai, can I just add
Yes,
one thing
please.
in this?
Yes, please.
See, love, if you see, there are many kinds of love. When we see love in its purest sense, it doesn't take anything. Love gives. But here, Baba is speaking if really you have to bring about power and love, because Baba is asking for a balance of love and power. So love comes to a power when you're in a stage of a detached observer. You love it, but you're not attached to it. There is no attachment at all. It is you're there, but you don't hold it. So it's like a detached observer when you play the part of love. There would be no kind of crisscross and all. It will be absolutely accurate. This brings about what Baba says, power. And for merging that love into such power, you need a willpower. You're not supposed to be influenced by what role you're playing, by what part you're playing. So anytime you want to adopt whatever form, that willpower, if I have, then we can see the power of the form of power will be merged in the form of love. That's called not just merging love. Just merging love is physical. When the that with that power, when it's giving, that's what I thought was the observation there. Om Shanti.
Yeah, Om Shanti. Yeah, let's see if there's any other comments. Others are very quiet today. Anybody has some thoughts? I'm sure there are people who have some thoughts, but they would like to share. What does this mean to you, or what added comments from the sharing? And then we'll go a little bit into it also at the same time. 1 second. There's one comment, I think. Balance of love and power. Yeah, okay, that's what you mentioned just now. Yeah. Any other things that come? Those who have not shared would like to share something? No? Yes? No? Okay. So, so thank you so much for all those inputs, and they're wonderful. Yeah, yes, please go ahead.
Actually, nowadays, even yesterday, Baba said, if you're not set, it will lead to upset. So most of the times, as the discussion was going on, circumstances, situations, how much we are attentive, careful. Sometimes unknowingly, it will go beyond our limit. So though we are in Shaman, I'm Vijayi Atma hu, I'm Vigna Vinashak Atma hu, I'm Sapalata Murta Bhava, Murta Atma hu. So whatever the situation is goes beyond our limit. How to, okay, we can think it's a karmic account. We only, Baba children, we know that. But in Laukik, when we are handling in our workstations and all, it's very difficult to use. Though we are accommodating, though we are tolerating, then too the situation is not in our hand. So how to get rid of those kind of situations?
Yeah. So that's what exactly Baba is explaining in this passage. But what caught my attention is there is an experiment of that you might have heard. It's a very famous the experiment where they were bombarding photons on a particular space and through this slit. Okay, and they observed that there are two things that are happening simultaneously. The photons, the particles, would behave as particles and also would show some signs of being wave. So those who have maybe heard about it, but in simple terms is that there is an existence of a wave nature as well as a particle nature. And I feel that that experiment has a lot to do with spirituality and to do with this passage, because the soul as a soul is a point. That's what we learn, right? So we know that we have that form, which is the incorporeal form. But then when the soul comes down into the body, then there is expression. The soul starts to express, and that would be equivalent to the wave nature, because wave moves, no? And Baba said that stability and waves, you know. And I think to me, this passage is I mean, when you see, for example, in the ocean, the waves are there, and also stability is there. It's one of the most very stable and most silence as you go deeper. And as you come on the surface, there is movement. But this is happening in the ocean. It's happening simultaneously, isn't it? So what the idea that came is Baba is teaching us that how to be able to be that at the same time. Yeah, embodiment of remembrance. At the same time, detached completely, to be there, to see everything, and yet not to be pulled by whatever bondages of karma is, because karma is basically action, and action is movement, But at the same time, having that and having everything that is there to be stable in that embodiment, soul consciousness, soul consciousness stage, So I thought when we practice this, and why these challenges do come, is that we start our spiritual journey, we learn about soul consciousness, and Baba emphasizes a lot, become bodiless, become bodiless, become bodiless. We practice that, that's one of the first thing that we do, no? Journey inwards, journey upwards, you leave. But many, this is quite challenging by itself, but there's a last part that most people forget, that you have to come down again, So the stage of Brahmin, you come, you learn, and then you move and become bodiless, incorporeal. But the aim is to be incorporeal in the corporeal. So you have to be that, but you have to be, because you still have a body, no? So this is the challenging part, seeing everything and not be able to be moved by, This is integrating that power into this physical form, So it's very easy to be detached, sometimes. But how do you find, when there is all the waves around you, and you can be detached and be free from it, or you can be detached, but at the same time, be able to take those waves, all the turbulence. The sister was asking how to do it. I would say to keep in mind that you are both. You have that nature of flowing, which is the wave nature. You are also a point at the same time. So this is happening simultaneously, and there is nothing that you need to do actually. So you have to remember that this is what you are. You have both the nature. You are able to have that powerful form, of just, because the most powerful form is a point. There's nothing you can do there. But real power is, while being that point in this physical body, to be able to express love, to be able to merge others' vibration, and transform that whatever is coming. That is what tolerance is. The ability to not only receive it, but to be able to transform the other vibration with your vibrations. So in another Murli, Baba will have another definition, Vinod Bhai. Baba keeps changing, this definition to make our mind, broad mind, the intellect, to open up the intellect. Yeah. So there's a comment here. I see it. There would be a transformation, lovely and powerful, power integral, to let go, to see as detached observer, to observe the law first, for self first. Yeah. So,
Arif Bhai,
yes, please.
just one sentence. You were speaking about the waves. I would stand at the ocean. I would allow the waves to touch my feet. That's accommodation. And yet I would be set on the sand as a seat. That's how I'm tolerating. I always take that. No waves can be. It's like it's done. The waves come, and so some people love when the waves come and touch. They find it as an adventure. So I allow it, but nothing shakes me. I'm still set. I think that's how I take it, Ocean.
Yeah. Yeah, you can create different kind of picture, but this is a very deep lesson in spirituality, that we come in our form of power, but at the same time we don't lose the grounding. We have both in us already, as I was saying, about the experiment, that the particle nature and the wave nature appears simultaneously. You don't have to do anything about it. It's already there. But how are we able to use, to understand that we are that power, at the same time to understand that we are flowing, because that's the whole game, no? A soul does not suffer, does not have any karma, does not have any bondage, does not have any what you call fluctuation, if it is in the form of a soul. It is only when the soul comes into the body and creates the mind, then suffering starts, and that not like immediately, after some time when the power starts dropping. So, and that's what we are experiencing, this lovely phenomena called life. We are experiencing that, and the reason we are experiencing that is that we should be able to understand the game and be able to be at the same time in both the states, and that's what spirituality is about. If we were incorporeal, we stayed there in the soul world, then there was no need of this. The whole thing is happening is because we decided that we want to take this costume and come down and play part. And playing means action, means wave. So how can you maintain um, your truth, which is a point, in this world where everything is changing? Yeah? Yeah. So Baba, in different ways, I'm sure you will find another Murli where there will be some other, take. But this is such a beautiful thing and such a powerful thing, because most people who are spiritual, they get too much lost into, beyond. But you are not yet beyond. You're not going, you are preparing to go back home, and you will go back home. But in order to be able to go back, you will have to manage first. You'll have to go through that test. So you have to be in the world, but not of the world. You have to be in the world, but not of the world. And that's a very beautiful, lesson. Sometimes we take this approach of being too much in the world, and we lose the other side of it. And sometimes we are too much away. We are too much floating, So that's why, there was a story that I'd heard. So in Madhuban, during Diti's time, they used to have bhattis, 2-3 days, very intense bhattis. And during this time, they would, everybody would be there, and there would be so much yoga, nothing, they would not do anything, just they would be served. And this is in olden days, in Dati's Prakashmani's time. And they would do this bhakti, and then when they finish, Dadi would say, okay, fine, now they would go out, and there would be some kind of picnic. And one of the brother asked Dadi and said that, we are doing such, because he would say, see how people would go into, expansion, and picnic, how it is. So so he said, Dadi, after doing so much, you feel so good and you feel so full, why, we can't avoid this, picnic, and people ask, going everywhere, and, being as if they haven't stayed the for the birthday. And she said something very beautiful. She said, yeah, we want people to do that, but we still have work to do, no? There is duty also. So we take them there, but we have to bring them down also, so that the work can get done as well. So basically, what I understood was that we have to learn to be able to be in action, to be able to be participating in this beautiful play of the drama, yet at the same time to be in our power form, and that's what true spirituality. If you can balance this, you've mastered spirituality. So that's some of the thoughts that I wanted to share. If there's any question or any further clarification from your side, and in the meantime, I'll just quickly read the chat box. Small wave gives pleasure, big waves damage. Yeah, so to be in the tsunami and to be able to go through the tsunami also at the same time. Yeah. So that's the art that we are learning. Any question? Any final words before we finish? I hope, Vinod Bhai, there is some insight for further inquiry for you.
Yes, absolutely, brother. Particularly the wave that sister mentioned that actually made the imagination very clear. I do get that. For the day, I would practice it as
No, we lost you, I think.
date,
Yeah, now it's,
and then I'll come back, brother.
yeah. So now go to the shore, experience the wave touching your feet, and then be in the ground.
Yeah.
But sometimes go to the middle of the ocean and take a dive, in the middle of the ocean with all the wave. Take a dive down to the bottom of the flow. This also is another, another way. Be in the center of all the thing. In fact, there is a story that during the tsunami, those people who were saved, when the wave was coming, those who went into the ocean, and there were some fishermen, and they knew that they didn't have to come to the shore. They had to go to the, towards the side where the waves were coming, and they were the ones who were saved. So they say that the most stable place is in the center of the eye of the storm. That's the most quietest place. So we have to learn that also. Like Baba says, the crazy moths, they jump into the center of the fire, and then they figure out what it is to be with the fire. Yes, Vijay.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that, that sister was saying about the situation comes and then the taking over. So, like you rightly said, this is all, about the soul consciousness. So, taking us back to that conscious stage that we are soul. And the moment we forget that we are playing in this unlimited drama, that's when everything comes, all these problems comes, all these situations, all this will try to take over us. One thing to remember is the situations, they are just situations, okay? The situation itself does not have a size, its own. Whether it is big or small. Okay, so they are just situations. So it is us, our capacity is actually making that situation big or small. Right. So if you are soul power, if you have willpower, and then for you, even a bigger situation, right, might feel small one. Right. And sometimes if you're so weak, then you might feel a small situation as a big one to handle. So it's all, we give that size.
So specifically, I would say the mind. The mind is what creates the waves.
That's right, yeah.
So if you are able to detach from your thoughts, to detach from, because, like sometimes, when you go into the expansion already, it's too late. But if you are able to just merge it from the thoughts itself, then the expansion doesn't happen. And the source is the mind. This is the center of the center of everything. So if you are able to be a point and stay at that space and be able to whenever there is a thought, not reacting to it from that space. So there is a need of awareness also, at the same time the need of power to merge. So yeah. Overthinking, yeah. Put a door, yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. Yeah. Put a full stop. Putting a full stop means that the waves will come. But to take that wave and put it back to the point, yet not running away from it. That's the art of spirituality. It's a good topic, the art of spirituality. Okay, so let's have a moment, just a minute of silence. Yeah. If the situation is a mountain, but some comment. If the situation is a mountain, but we must consider it as a mustard seed. Yeah. Yeah, just my suggestion is play with these two forms. First recognize it and play and experiment with it. You will really enjoy every moment, because every moment we have both. Both is happening. But to be able to see that every scene, then the main idea is to bring virtue and put it into the expression. That is what dharana is, no? To be able to vibrate that virtue, not to think about it. We've thought a lot, we have practiced a lot. Now what we need is to vibrate it. So how can we do that? It's not a process. It's understanding, deep understanding that I am a point and I'm also a wave at the same time. And I don't have to do anything about it. It's just the soul is expressing itself, because the soul cannot see itself. the only way the soul can see itself is by coming into the body. So yeah, play with these thoughts and you will enjoy. Shanti, just 1 minute. Shanti, thank you. Any announcements, Sister Brother?
No announcement. Amiben will close the session. Thank you.
Yeah.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Arif Bhai. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, have a blissful day.